All right, welcome back to the part 59. Okay, so, uh, so messages are pretty good. I'm feeling a little tired today, even though that I have a long day, kind of today. Not really. I had to go to the dentist, and that's about it. My dentist was 4 o'clock or 4:30. Yeah, 4:30, and there when what happened? Guess what happened when they're driving home? My mom got so stressed out when she was driving in the rain. I mean, everyone gets stressed when they have to drive in the rain, like out of the rain or so. Like think it was raining so hard in my area because yeah, my area was so wet. It was raining a lot. It was raining a lot. I did not realize it was going to rain today. I don't know why it rained today. I'm not really sure why. But all right, for begin to that, let's just go with the vacuoles. This was made by biology, which is I was a sophomore back in the day. Um, okay, so this is the vacuoles, and this is where we located at. See those letters that can help you better. Sorry. A spacer vesicle within cytoplasm of a cell, enclosed by a membrane and typically containing fluid. This is for Mr. Zarda's class that I used to be in. Or conflict over ways to move around the circle towards the cell is a tiny world of elements is a fluid-filled pocket in the cell's cytoplasm that serves varying functions depending on the cell's requirements to use specific variable to think the vacuoles to go forward. Yeah, I actually agree with that. So, even though it didn't really share to him, okay, to show you Mr. Service looks like. His page isn't here. So, all right. Yeah, Mr. Zarvis. He is a guy that looks like a Santa Claus. You might find him very interesting. So, just to remind you that he looks like a Santa Claus to you guys. So yeah, um, yeah, I had him for first semester, and I moved to a different teacher, which is Mr. Keyfaber. Um, yeah, Mr. Keyfaber. Yeah, Mr. Keyfaber was okay. I don't mind him as a teacher at all. Okay, vocabulary. All right, vocabulary. If compose means to create, then decompose means to take apart. True. I had an or painfully depressed look on my face after my car broke down in the middle of nowhere, anguished. The Greek root megas means great. The Greek root poly means many. We all held expressions at the man's funeral, even though we didn't know him that well. Solemn. What is an exaggerated fear of something called, and what is the Greek root of this word? Phobia and fob. If you are wearing a polychromatic shirt, which word best describes the shirt? Colorful. Choose a sentence that is correct. Tightrope. Tightrope walking is a precarious act. The festival was bright and colorful, but Danny's clothes were pallid and lacked vibrancy. What's the definition of pallid? Dull. I disagree that the only one leadership style can work effectively. Vehemently. So my vacu- that my vocabulary was pretty good, even though that I miss being homeschooled. But homeschool is not the answer, so let's just get into biology because I felt depressed after being, after being stuck home like this. So this is biology, and N is a trait that helps the living thing survive in its environment. A. Larva. B. Adaptation. C. Inherited trait. A carnivore is an animal that eats only meat, plants, everything, or fruit and meat. What do you think it is? An herbivore is an animal that eats only insects, meat, plants, or plants and meat. Animals that hunt others animals to eat are prey, omnivores, predators, or herbivores. What is the original source of almost all energy in most ecosystems? A. Carbohydrates, B. Sunlight, or C. Water, or D. Carbon dioxide. A polar bear sleeps all winter in its snow cave. This behavior is an example of mimicry, migration, hibernation, or camouflage. Which system of the body allows you to breathe? Circularity, circulatory, or respiratory, digestive, or excretory. Animals without black bones are called. Animals without backbones are called A. Reptiles, or B. Vertebrates, C. Amphibians, or D. Invertebrates. What parts of a cell provide energy? A. Centrioles, B. Lysosomes, or C. Mitochondria, or D. Chromatin. Organisms that exclusively feed on producers are herbivores, omnivores, or carnivores, and predators. What do you think the best answer is? What's your best guess? What is the answer? Obviously. You guys know it for previous biology. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go over the rules for homework list for 20 for 19 for 19 to 20. This is for Mrs. Pence classes or courses. Okay, so I know it's a lot, but I can try to deal with it. So I'm gonna go through with the geometry inductive. Okay, so homework assignments. Quarter free. Um, Khan Academy, slope for graph, Dalley points, and dilation scale factor, dilation center. Khan Academy, dilate triangles and dilations and properties. Determine similar, triangles AA, determine similar, and triangles SS. Solve similar triangles, basic. Solve similar triangles, advanced, graphing for slope. Slope in a table, slope for 2 points, solving proportions, writing proportions, trigonometric ratios in right triangles, article, trigonometric ratios in right triangles, ratios, sounds like radios, but it's ratios, exercises, solve for side in right triangles, solve for an angle in right triangles. Use Pythagorean theorem for find right triangle side lengths. Special right triangles. Right triangle word problems. Right triangle in trigonometry quiz 2. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles. Determine congruent triangles. Triangle congruence review article. Find angles in congruent triangles. Congruous unit test. Solve for the side of right triangles. Slope for 2 points. Solve similar triangles. Basic. Solve for an angle in right triangles. Parallel and perpendicular lines for graph. It does not say in geometry, fortunately. Okay, so the end of semester, free response Monday, multiple choice on Wednesday, semester 1 review packet, all late missing work. Okay, so quarter 2, decompose angles, properties of shapes, find base and height on a triangle, areas of triangles, create equations to solve for missing angles, unknown angle problems with algebra, explore scale copies, angle relationships with parallel lines, equations with variables on both sides, find angles in triangles, find angles in isosceles triangles, finding angle measures using triangles, equation practice with angles, triangle side length rules, create rectangles with a given area, angles, quiz free, equations with variables on both sides, areas of rectangles with partial arrays, area of rectangles, ordering triangle sides and angles, area of triangles and area of parallelograms, areas of trapezoids, finding a missing length. When giving an area of a triangle, Pythagorean theorem, and find the right angle of side lengths, areas of shapes or on grids, slope intercept intro, equations of parentheses. Use areas of squares, visualize Pythag them. Using Pythag them to find area. Pythag them word problems, area composite shapes. Like I said, this does not contain geometry. Syllabus and supplies, Khan Academy assignments 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a quarter. Syllabus and supplies, which are 4 assignments. There's none of them here. Alright, so let's go with AP Calculus AB. Volume of Bell Excel Project. Section 11.1 Bookwork. Section 11.2 W.S. Section 1.4 Bookwork. Section 7.1 Bookwork. In the worksheet, and 7.5 Bookwork. Integral quiz. Section 8.1 Bookwork. 8.1 WS and 8.2 Bookwork and 8.2 WS. My App Quiz. Chapter 8 Review and Binder Check. Volume of the Bell Excel Project. Section 6.1 Bookwork and 6.1 WS. 6.2 Bookwork and 6.2 WS. 6.3 Bookwork. 6.4 Bookwork. My AP Quiz. Chapter 6 Review and Binder Check. This is the Chapter 6 test. Free responsible and multiple choice on Wednesday. Take home portion. All late and missing work. Section 5.1 Bookwork. Section 5.2, 5.3, 5.4. Chapter 5 My AP. Chapter 5 Review and Binder Check. Chapter 4 Test Corrections. 4.1 Bookwork. 4.1 WS. 4.12, 4.2 Bookwork. Bookwork of 4.3, 4.6 of Bookwork and WS, 4.7 Bookwork, My AP, Chapter 4 Review and Binder Check, Section 3.1 Bookwork, Both Parts, Section 3.2 Bookwork, 3.3, Chapter 2 My AP Replacement Due, 3.4 Bookwork, Chain Rule WS, 3.5 Bookwork, and 3.6 Middle of Chapter Test Review Packet. Test retakes are 2. 3.7 Bookwork and 3.9 Bookwork, and it's 3.10 Bookwork, and my AP Chapter 3 quiz. Chapter 3 Review and Binder Check. It does not contain AP Calculus. Oh, there it goes. Syllabus and supplies, a half-sheet review, 1.7 and 1.7 on the worksheet bookwork, 1.8 and 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, My AP Quiz, Chapter 2. 2.6 Bookwork, and Chapter 2 Review and Binder Check. Chapter 7 and 9, Section 77, page 309, 1 and 11, those are the dates. Inverse trig functions, this is pre-calculus, quiz corrections, trig, equations, Peter Pan puzzle, in section 9.1. Special right triangles, part 270, 277, 284. Part 2, unit circle practice 7.1 to 7.3. That's a quiz. 290, finish Desmos activity, slides 5 through 12. 298, which is section 7.5, Khan Academy assignments. 303, 316, 240, 247, 255, 256, and 259. SYU, what does it stand for? Free response and multiple choice. Semester 1 review packet. All late and missing work. Section 5.1 and Chapter 4 test corrections and 193 and 200 Thanksgiving bonus. 210 5.2 185 score refresh. Chapter 3 test corrections in 145 154 161 167, which is part 2, 172 176, which is chapter 4 review. SYU chapter 4 test, skill refresh in chapter 3, which is 31, all those answers. 121 3.2 free review. SYU section 2.1 section 2.2 chapter 1 test corrections, domain and range puzzle. 88 piecewise functions. 95 109 SYU page 113. 2 tests Thursday. Syllabus and supplies. Mastery ticket. Mastery test practice packet. Part 6. Part 14. AVE rate of change. Part 24. Part 34. 43. 45. 53. 60. And 21, 24, 25, 28, 32, 33, 39, 40, 41, 46, and 54. Alright, now I can read this one. Alright, Debbie Pratt. I promised I was going to do that part on this one. So, Debbie Pratt, sorry for getting carried away, but that's okay now. Debbie Pratt, class of 1969. What is your name and graduation year? My name is Debbie Hutton Pratt, and I graduated in 1969. What major historical events happened during your high school career? Wow, well, I wasn't expecting that question, so I would have to think about that. Obviously, we're in the 60s, so that there was a lot involving the Vietnam War and a lot of turmoil with civil rights. So there was a lot going on in the 60s, as we are aware. Being in high school, I have to admit that we weren't always as turned in as we should have been to political things happening. That's pretty much what went on. So you were involved in a lot of art-based extracurriculars. What was it like to be the part of those programs in the 60s? I absolutely loved being in choir and a debutantes in the school musicals. It was the most fun, and we had just a great group of kids that we were really good friends. Besides classmates, we had a great teacher named Jerry Robertson. He really promoted excellence and expected out excellence. But that was a good because the productions that we did and the concerts that we performed were very professional, and I loved it. It was great. What was the school atmosphere like? Everybody was very much like supportive of both the football and the basketball teams, and there was other sports, but I would have to say those two were king, and especially basketball in the 60s. That was a thing. Everybody on a Friday night knew they knew what we're gonna be. You are going to be at the basketball game, and I was lucky enough to be a cheerleader, but had I not been a cheerleader, I still would have certainly been there. We had a big cheer block, and they wore capes so that they all looked like, and pep band was there, and the gym was sold out every single time. So it's very different than it's today. I'm not saying that was better, but it was a lot of fun. What was your favorite class? As far as my favorite classes, I may have two. I really liked English class, and I had Mrs. Shirley Glister and I absolutely loved her. And I had a Joe Dutton, and he was a wonderful English teacher. I had him on my senior year, Miss Glister on my junior year. I loved the English classes, and in fact, I minored in English in college, but what I majored in college was U.S. history and government and economics. But because probably my favorite teacher was Leonie Hoffman, or Leon Hoffman, or I'm sorry. She taught social studies, mostly U.S. history, and he just made history come to life for me, and I really loved it. So that's why I majored. I went off to teach U.S. history and government and economics. What were your favorite places to eat out with friends? Frisch's, Frisch's Big Boy, which was at 25th Street. It's where Ricky Workers is currently. That was a real hot spot. Northside Drugs, where Camellia is now, over in the 25th Shopping Center. That was a drugstore, and they had a counter where you could buy burgers and fries and stuff. So we often go there and hang out. But that was pretty much it. Wait, no, there's one more spot, and that I guess was the biggest one of all. Was the A&W root beer stand. That's where it currently is still, but a big thing on Friday is Saturday night. Either after a ball game or even when there wasn't a ball game that night, it was just to cruise around 25th Street and cruise that through that AD&W root beer parking lot. That's where all your friends could be found. Do you happen to remember who the principal was when you graduated? I do. Oh my gosh, but I just drawn a blank. I can't picture him. Justin Earn, he was the principal, and he has his cute saying, and he would come on in the morning with his announcement, and he would always say, 99% of you are just wonderful students, and you behave, and you do when you're supposed to do. But there is 1%, and it was always that 1% that he was kind of worried about, so we always kind of laugh and how we didn't want to be in the 1% for sure. Did you have a senior project? No, we did not have senior projects. I am well aware of those because a part of the time that I worked for the school cooperation for 38 years, I worked at Columbus East and also here in North with the C4 classes, and I am so well aware of the senior projects students now do. But now we didn't have anything. Our biggest thing as a senior term paper that we had to do. We had to go to the library and go through all these index cards and stuff. We obviously didn't have computers or the internet or anything like that. So it all had to be done in a library manually to look up information and so forth. So doing a term paper was our big senior project, if you want to call it. What were some of the hot styles then? Hot styles? Well, we would have liked to have worn shorter skirts, but the rule is that you have to get on your knees. If the skirt didn't touch the floor, you got sent home. So what we would do sometimes when our skirt were long enough, but then we knew nobody was watching, we would roll a waistband to make them shorter. Then we would go on to class or whatever, and then we were back out in the halls. We thought we might see a dean of girls or something, but we would roll them back down so we were even more proper. Certainly pleated skirts and kilts were popular in sweaters. Mostly skirts and sweaters. We weren't allowed to wear pants, so we couldn't wear jeans or pants. We had a skirt. We had to wear a skirt or a dress. Are you kidding me? How can you not wear pants? That is the stupidest response ever. Come on, bruh. Do you remember what your yearbook looked like when you were in high school? I do because we are getting ready to celebrate our 50th graduation anniversary in 2019 that will be 50 years. I cannot believe it. But anyway, so I had my yearbook out a lot recently, so because I'm on a community playing on a reunion, it was an online olive green yearbook, and we got them after graduation. I don't know when you guys get them now, but because they wanted to include spring sports and spring activities like prom and so forth in the yearbooks. If I hate long time ago because I hate that long time ago term um because we're not allowed to do something for like no absolute reason. This is kind of stupid, bruh. I'm not even kidding. We didn't get them until later in the summer, and our senior year we didn't get as many signatures in our yearbook because everyone was going out their own ways at the time. Like junior year, we got them in the summer. We still could sign in with our friends in the fall back here at school, so we could get more signatures and notes in our yearbooks. Anyways, that's what it was. Do you know how many people were in your school compared to today? Well, we only had three grades: sophomore, junior, and a senior. Where's freshman? Where is freshman? Dude, where is freshman? What do you mean? What do you mean you had three grades? Is freshman supposed to? Freshman is supposed to be there. What are you talking about? They are four grades. They were freshmen, but why? Why is freshman? Do you think? Where's freshman? Is freshman not involved? What are you thinking, lady? They were four grades, which is a freshman. Why did freshman? Why did you forget about freshman? Maybe you realized it now. And for a whole school, I did not know, but in our graduating class, there was 780. We actually only came to a school half a day, both my junior year and my senior year, or both my junior and my senior year. I was on what they called an athletic schedule since I was a cheerleader, and the athletes and cheerleaders and other people as well. We came to school at 7:30 and we were dismissed at 12:30. That included lunch. So we had a very abbreviated day, but there were no study halls or anything. We were just back to back classes. That was the only way to get everybody in school. There were just too many students, and then that's why they built Columbus East, because the school numbers were just too big for just one school to accommodate. That's about it for Debbie Pratt. I'll be reading Phil Pennington. I'll be reading him on part 60. So, I was gonna say something previously, but I'm gonna have to say it. Um, Lady, you forgot. Lady, was freshman involved? I don't. Was freshman involved in 1969? I know that, but like back a long time ago. That's what I was trying to say. Grades in 1960. School grades. That's just what I was just trying to say. High school was junior high, which is normally covered grades for through 9. Oh, I see now. I see. That's fine. 1960 freshman. I understand that, but I mean, like, what is an average age of graduating high school? In the US, most people finish high school at age 18. Some will graduate at 17 or 16, but it is extremely rare to graduate younger than that. Because I'm graduating at 19 years old, so yeah. Yeah, I'm graduating at 19, because that's how old I am going to be next year, which is 19 years old in 2022. Gonna be an old man. When I turn 19 next year, 2022, I'm gonna do like different stuff, all this stuff, to go to college, and probably won't make videos very much. Probably won't. I'll probably be busy a lot. Just to remind you, probably won't be around pretty much. Just to work on, because I just want to do is work. all that crap, just in general. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do geometry inductive, which is the helpteaching.com. I used to go there all the time. At March, it was kind of stressful for me. If the area of a triangle is 15 cm squared and the base is 2 cm, then what is the height? A 45 cm, B 30 cm, C 99 cm, or D 15 cm. How much will it cost for a carpet of 25 feet by 13 feet room if carpeting costs $15.50 per square yard? A. $5 and 0.37 B. $559.72. C. $419.79. D. Okay, so $1,679 for 17 cents. It's a lot of money. I don't know, I say it my own way. Arrange the following polygons in order for at least the greatest number of sides: hexagon, triangle, decagon, and pentagon. A. Decagon, hexagon, pentagon, and triangle. B. Triangle, hexagon, pentagon, and decagon. C. Hexagon, triangle, decagon, and pentagon. D. Triangle, pentagon, hexagon, and decagon. Why is it letting me go back up? Two angles whose measures have a sum of 90 degrees and are called what? A. Complementary angles. B. Right angles. C. Obtuse angles. D. Supplementary angles. A rectangle has one side of 3 and number of 7. What is the area? A. 23, 21, 19, or 20. Using the measurements given below, find the hypotenuse of a triangle. Leg 20 units, leg equals 20 units, and leg equals 21 units. A. 400 units. B. 841 units. C. 29 units. And that's it. 7. 1 km equals m. 1 mcm, 1 m equals cm, 1 m equals mm, and 1 m equals dm. A prism has A. Only triangular faces, B. No point, C. Curved faces, and D. Parallelogram sides. What is the longest side of a right triangle? A. Leg A, B. Leg B, C. Hypotenuse, or D. Right triangle. A right triangle has an angle missing, and it has an angle measuring 38 degrees. Which is the degree measure of another angle that is this triangle? A. 52 degrees, B. 82 degrees, C. 104 degrees, D. Or 142 degrees. This is there's the line in X, W equals A. Alright, so I'm going to do the other ones I'm going to do sports nutrition and culinary at part 60. Alright.